Hello, folks. Welcome back to The Slice, and welcome to The Slice's coverage of the Mutua Madrid Open. And ooh, boy, it is stacked. On this episode of the show, we're going to take a look at the draw, and of course, all big three players of the big three are here, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. And we're going to take a look at these early round matchups, which, because it seems like every player in this draw is a big name, they're going to be pretty crazy. So let's get into it on this episode of The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's better because you're here, and this show is going to be great because, yeah, I've just been taking a look and analyzing this Madrid draw, and it is crazy. So there's so many things to look at. But before that, a couple housekeeping items. Thank you for those of you who signed up for the front row show. Obviously, I just released a front row show, and it was awesome. I got into the three biggest disappointing players of 2019 I talked about. I also previewed more in depth the big threes, Madrid, looking at their Madrid and what it means to them. And I also talked about Del Potro coming back and a bunch of other things on that show. So check on it by clicking on the link below and supporting The Slice. So thank you for that. I'm also working on rebranding this. We're getting a new logo at The Slice. So stay tuned to see that. It's looking pretty fresh, and I'm excited for that. And Gold Wolf, friend of the show, decided to send me another Rafael Nadal sleeveless cutoff because he says, the old guns are looking bigger. And he thought that would look good for the summertime. So thanks, Gold Wolf. Do you guys think I'll look good in a Rafael Nadal cutoff? What do you guys think I should wear on the show? Let me know. But those are smaller things. The bigger things in life and in this show is this Madrid draw. Upsets will happen, okay? And then I think they're going to happen early because for some reason, it seems like every player in this draw is like a mentionable name. I'm looking down the first round and every single name I recognize, and they're all very good players. I mean, everyone's obviously a great player on the ATP no matter what, but I recognize all these names. So I'm like, people are going to get knocked out early. There's going to be upsets no matter what in the first round because there's so many players that are unseeded. I guess this is normal, but there's only 16 seeds, and that's created some pretty crazy early matchups. Take a look at all the players that aren't even seeded. This might blow your mind. So we got these players, again, are not seeded. Dimitrov, Diego Schwartzman, Nick Kyrgios, David Goffin, Kyle Edmund, Pablo Carreno Busta, Roberto Bautista Agut, Francis Tiafoe, to name a few. There's some other ones, too, that would be surprising. So some of those make sense because they haven't played lately. Did you know that Grigor Dimitrov is ranked 47th in the world right now? That's disappointing. But there's these guys who are playing in the first round against seeded players, and those are creating some pretty interesting matchups. Here's just a quick look at some of the first round matchups that are really interesting. We got Schwartzman versus Cecchinato in the first round. We got Nick Kyrgios versus Jan-Lennard Struff. We have Dusan Lajovic versus Laslo Djere, both from Serbia. You guys are just going to roast me on how I'm saying that, I bet you. But those two guys have been having great 2019s if you've been paying attention, especially on the clay. That's a first-round matchup. And other ones we got Goffin versus Fucsovics. We got Andrea Seppi versus Monfils. We got Edmund versus Fognini. Millman versus Steve Johnson. I mean, this is all first-round stuff. This is crazy. We got Radu Albert versus Fernando Verdasco. Okay, that's not that big of a matchup. But we got Jaume Munar versus Karen Khachanov. I feel like Khachanov is going to go out early again. We got Borna Coric versus Luca Pui in the first round. I mean, it actually keeps going on and on and on. David Ferrer versus Roberto Bautista Agut in the first round, and Guido Pella versus Daniil Medvedev, both been playing great on the clay. So yeah, and then the biggest one I would say to cap it off is the couple Canadian boys named Felix Auger-Aliassime and Denis Shapovalov, both semifinalists in Miami, playing in the first round of the Mutua Madrid Open. So craziness going on there. There's just going to be big matches. You got to start watching this tournament right from the get-go. But anyways, I'm not fangirling over these matchups. Let's look at the big threes draws because none of them are easy. They all get tough draws because everybody in this tournament seems to be super good. Let's take a look at Nadal's. So Nadal will either play the winner of Shapovalov or Felix in the second round. So that's tough. Then he's got either Basilashvili, Tiafoe, or Kohlschreiber in the next, and then Medvedev or Nishikori in the fourth round or the quarterfinals. Tsitsipas or Zverev after that, and Djokovic, Team, or Federer in the final. So no, unless there's crazy upsets and none of those guys make it through, no easy matches for Nadal. And that's not good because he hasn't had great results in Monte Carlo or Barcelona. On clay, basically, if Nadal doesn't win, it's not a great result, which is, a pretty good problem to have, I guess. But I feel like he almost has to win Madrid, or else people are going to freak out. Nadal fans are going to start going rogue. They're going to start freaking out. Critics are going to start going, this is the end. Nadal's finished. He's done. This is the last year. You should have more confidence in a guy on clay who's done what he's done on the surface, so that even if he doesn't win any tournaments going up to the French Open, he's still going to be the favorite to win it. But Nadal has not looked like his old self on clay. He's had 2 losses. 2 guys who are playing well. It's not like he's played tragic. People are saying that he's injured. That's probably a given at all times, especially when you're 33 and you've played the way that Nadal has your entire career. And he does have a problem with his foot that affects his knee, and that's been like a career-long thing. But it just makes sense. Everyone has to play through pain. I'm sure being injured affects a bit of it, but he hasn't come out and said that. And if he was super injured, he'd be pulling out of tournaments. So he might not be 100%, but people like you guys, all of you guys know what you're talking about. But some people have noticed that he's moving out of his backhand corner very slowly. So different factors come into his losses, but the fact is he's been bleeding points in these last 2 tournaments. But Madrid is actually a place where he could get up or get some points back because he didn't win this one last year. So Nadal, tough draw, and I feel like there's actually a lot of pressure building on him, probably a lot on himself. He's putting a lot of pressure on himself to get back in the winner's column because it's not normal for him to start the front clay swing without winning at least Barcelona or Monte Carlo. But Madrid is his least successful clay court tournament, so we'll see how he can do here in Madrid. Obviously, I would put him as the favorite right now. I would put him as the favorite, or Team or Nadal is the favorite. But that's early. We probably got to see them at the beginning, how they're playing on these conditions. Novak Djokovic is doing something. We don't know what he's doing. He's in a bit of a slump. He's playing kind of lackadaisical. Doesn't have that much. I don't think that players are that scared to play him right now, especially with the guys he's been losing to. But he's got a very interesting second-round matchup. He's going to be playing Dimitrov, unless Dimitrov loses. Then he's either playing Schwartzman or Cecchinato, then Delpo or Cilic, then Federer or Thiem, and then Nadal. That's all if people don't get upset huge. But not an easy route for him at all. And I think that I could see him going out early again. Some people are saying that Djokovic doesn't care about Grand Slams or he doesn't care about these tournaments anymore. He only cares about Grand Slams. I don't think that's true. At the end of 2018, he was making the final of every Masters 1000. I mean, he lost to Khachanov and to Zverev in the World Tour Finals, but he's still it's like he's too competitive to be this good, to be that all time. You have to be so competitive that it's almost like a mental illness. Like you are so competitive. There's no way that you could switch it off for smaller tournaments. I don't think that really makes sense. Every player up there is trying to win every match he plays the same amount, I would say. It's not like a turn on. He's just losing. And he's been losing since the Australian Open. So we're going to see if he can turn it around at the Madrid Open. And we'll see. It's not looking good, but you can't count him out ever, obviously, because he's one of the greatest of all time. Now we got Roger Federer. Roger Federer coming back onto the clay after a couple years off. Everyone's stoked. I saw a video on the Tennis Channel Instagram of him playing today. Just looked awesome. It's the old man on clay. Very experienced clay courters. Can you guys think of anyone on tour who's been playing on the clay courts longer than he has? Probably not. He's one of the most experienced clay court players on planet Earth. It's not like he's some grandpa being wheeled on there. He's had an amazing 2019. He won Dubai, lost in the finals of Indian Wells, won Miami. He's slightly behind Djokovic as far as the points go made in 2019. And Djokovic has only had one really good tournament, winning the Australian Open, which obviously gets you a lot of points. So Federer's draw is playing Monfils in the 3rd round, which will be tough. Then he's got Fognini or Thiem. Obviously tough. Djokovic in the semifinals and then Nadal in the finals if all goes according to ranking. So it's going to be anything he does is going to be tough on this clay surface. But he's, like I said, he's no schmuck on clay. He's won a lot of clay tournaments. He's won the French Open. He's at this age, you would doubt him on his abilities on clay, having not played for 3 years. But it's not like he's going back to something he hasn't ever done. He's played well on clay a lot of time. Like I said, he's one of the most experienced clay court players out there. So I think he should be fine. It's not I wouldn't expect him to lose in the early rounds. I wouldn't expect him to win the tournament, but I expect him to do pretty good. And he's going to be racking up points that he doesn't have any to defend from last year. So that's going to help his ranking. It's going to be very interesting at the end of the clay swing to see where him and Nadal are ranked, I think. Djokovic will still be at the top because he also doesn't have that many points to defend on the clay swing, but it's going to be interesting. But anyways, there's a quick breakdown of the Mutua Madrid Open draw. It's super exciting. I'm going to be trying to figure out when I can watch these matches in the middle of the night because I live in Canada. But give me your thoughts on the draw. Who do you think has the hardest draw out of the big three? And what do you think this tournament means for Nadal? Does he have to win it to keep his momentum up and to keep people from freaking out? Or are people already freaking out? I don't know. But I thank you for your support. Click the subscribe button to stay tuned and not miss any of our videos upcoming here. And also check out the Slice front row. I just made a great video today. I'm excited for you to see it. And I don't want you to miss out on helping the Slice become the #1 tennis outlet on the planet. Thanks for checking it out, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, folks. Click here to subscribe to the Slice. So click right here so you never miss a video. And click here to check out the Slice front row. And probably somewhere about right here to watch another video. Thanks.